Welcome to the City Auditorium in Fort Payne. A great crowd gathered here and also watching online. Last week, over 4,000 viewers of the Judicial Forum, and we hope tonight will be even bigger. My name is Danny Lee. I'm here in association with the Southern Torch, who has done a tremendous job preparing this event for tonight. You're going to be able to hear from the candidates, and it's going to be a great evening here at the Republican Primary Candidate Forum. And we're going to begin tonight. I'm going to ask Mr. Ricky Harcrow if he would come forward and lead us in a word of prayer. And then Ronnie Osborne is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would y'all please stand, please? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you today for the many, many blessings it's been ours to enjoy. We trust in a special way that you would condescend to our presence this evening and make thyself manifest. Help us all, Father, to look unto thee, who is the author and the finisher of our faith and the author of our blessings here on earth. We would ask, Heavenly Father, to make us mindful of the great country that we live in, the opportunities that we have, and we trust in a special way that you would help us with great sufficient that we might be reminded of these things, not only today in forums like these, but every day that we live. Continue with us now. Bless each one that is here. Make us thankful again for all the blessings of life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
All right, if you would, place the flag and repeat after me. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, if you will, please be seated. And we have a couple of races that are non-contested in the Republican primary. One of those is Republican Ricky Harcrow, the DeKalb County Commission President. And so what we're going to do is give Ricky a minute or two to address the audience and just talk with you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I appreciate Southern Torch providing this forum, and my colleagues who are out in the audience. I appreciate you so much for doing the things that you do, making yourselves available to the citizens of our county. I'm running for my 6th term on the county commission. I am the longest serving county commissioner continuously in the history of our county. I've been privileged to serve with some great people and serve with them now. And I know that all of you, whoever you are running for office, have the best intentions, and I wish you all good luck. I want to ask you to help me again. I'm getting older, and you all know that, but I'm still the same person that I've always been, and I look forward to serving another 4 years. I have served as president of the Alabama County Commissioners Association. I've served as chairman of the Legislative Council. I have been married for almost 45 years to the same woman, and I have 2 children, and I've got a new grandboy on the way, September 24th. Can y'all give me a hand? Rosser Clayton Harcrow is on the way. And we know that for sure. I saw the picture. Yeah, well, I want you to consider qualifications, because that's necessary in any job. Many years ago, when I came on the county commission, we were in a state of turmoil here in our county. And today, we have made great strides. In many ways, there's always problems. There's always infrastructure problems. There's always different things that have to be done and need to be done. But as President of the County Commission, I've been privileged to serve with some great people in both parties, and we've always gotten along well, and that's the key to serving the public itself. There must be in you a spirit of self-sacrifice, because you're going to put yourself on the line, you're going to put your family on the line, and it's difficult to say the least. So today, as we go into this season, go into this election, I want to ask you again for your help. I appreciate all that you've done for me in the past. Words cannot express that, and I could never repay you. Thank you for all you've done, you continue to do, and I ask again for your help as we continue in this particular election. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Ricky Hartgrove. Judge Ronnie Osborne is coming to the stage now, the DeKalb County probate judge, and he is going to address the crowd.
Hello, how are y'all today? All right, I got the same response you did. Commissioner Hartgrove, he's always a tough act to follow. I would like to say that I am Ronnie Osborne, and I'm running for my, golly bum, has it been that long? A long time. Commissioner Hartgrove and myself, we started out many, many years ago on the county commission together. But I'm running for my third term, full term, as probate judge. And I would like to, before I have to buy a dress, I want to introduce my wife right here, Janet. Y'all you can't give no applause, so there you go. But I would like to say that working for DeKalb County, the citizens of DeKalb County, it's been a pleasure and a joy for the last 14 years as probate judge, and 12 years or so as county commissioner. And to meet the people of this county every day and helping them with their needs and them helping me with my needs has really been a joy. And many things, I got some great employees. I think I got a couple here tonight, so I could not do my job without the employees that's in my office. And for them to be there with me and train me. 12 years ago, I walked into the job and I said, okay, ladies, show me what I got to do. And they did. And I would like to say that for the other candidates out here, we've got quite a long season coming at us. This is the primaries, and I will be on the ticket in November. And I would like to ask for your vote for that. But as we go through this, let's all be ladies and gentlemen and treat everybody fairly, treat everybody like, if you're a candidate, like you want to be treated. And the election process is so much fun to get out and meet people and talk to people and get to know the people that's voting for you. Probate office, I won't get into any of the duties there or anything. I'll get into that later on, but I would like to say my main passion is mental health. And our mental health system here in DeKalb County and the state of Alabama is quite broken right now because the governor passed about 3 years ago. We closed most of our hospitals, all of our statewide hospitals. We still have one in Tuscaloosa, Mary Harper Center in Bryce, that we can send patients to. But we have no long-term care for the people in our county here that has mental issues. So it's all short-term, try to fix it where you can at local hospitals. So that is my main goal, to help with mental health and get them back on the road to recovery and find a place that we can place them. And again, I would like to ask for your vote in November. And I ain't heard no bell ding over there, Dan. There you go. Thank y'all.
All right, next we have candidate Lester Black running for the DeKalb County Commission for District 4. And on the ballot in the fall, he will be facing Democrat Whit Jackson. So give Lester Black a hand.
Thank you. It's good to see all of y'all here tonight. And I want to thank the Southern Torch and the DeKalb County Republican Party for putting this forum on tonight. And I want to thank my family. I've been married 38 years with my wife Veronica. I have 2 sons, Jason Bradley and Jonathan Black. For his education, I graduated from Plainview. I went to Northeast College, majored in business. I went to Snead State, majored in electronic engineering. And as a candidate for the 4th District, I'm excited to want to be able to help. And I think back, one of the commissioners, maybe 30 years ago, he come around and he got all the roads, got people signed up, right-of-ways, and spent quite a bit of time, and he told us at that time that there was no money available, but when it comes available, we would be on the list. Well, the grant come available, and with the plan he had, the other commissioners, they wanted some grant money, but they wasn't prepared. So being prepared, having a plan, that's what I'm looking forward to. And I would like to thank the volunteer fire department. I'd like to thank the rescue squad. These people, they get out in the worst of times, after tornadoes, when everybody else is safe in their house, and the things that they do, I really appreciate it for them. And I would like to also thank the commission. As a matter of fact, just this week, they are sending some people for this new Emily law. Today, I spent about half a day in the hospital. My wife was attacked by some dogs, and kind of was prepared. And so she had several statements put in. And I appreciate what the County Commission is doing in that, and appreciate all of y'all. Thank you.
Mr. Black, and of course, District 4 encompasses Rainsville, Sylvania, and Blake, so we appreciate him. Before we bring up the candidates and Board of Education candidates, place 3, if you want to go ahead and be making your way. I was supposed to do this earlier, and I forgot with all the excitement. But I want to recognize our judicial candidates. Last week we had a great forum, and on the ballot this time will be, and I haven't seen Judge Bell. See, Judge Jonathan Bell will be on the ballot. Also, Andrew Hairston. Andrew, if you're here, stand up. Gotcha. Scott Lloyd. There he is. And also, Jeff McCurdy. Give them a hand, if you would. Now we are going to have some questions and a time with the candidates for DeKalb County Board of Education Place 3. This is Plainview and Ruhama School is my understanding on that. And tonight we'll have the candidates Jeff Williams, who is the incumbent, also Carol Hiett, and Arlen Blevins is not here. So we'll begin, and I believe, Carol, you were assigned number 1, so if you would just give a 1 minute or less statement.
I'm Carol Hiett, and I have 33 years experience in the school system. I'm currently working for my 7th superintendent. I have started my career as driving a school bus, and I was out in the school as assistant secretary. I've spent 2 years in the transportation department, and then I've been the last 20 years in the maintenance department. I'm certified in school. I have certification in school business, payroll, and personnel. I also am the capital planner for the school system. I also have certification in facility as being a facility assessor. I believe I have a lot. I have a well understanding of the school system. I have a well understanding of what a board member's duties is, and I would just like to serve on that side. And I hope you will vote for me on June the 5th as board member for District 3.
And Jeff Williams, if you would give an opening statement.
My name is Jeff Williams. I am currently serving as a District 3 board member. And I would, that includes Plainview and Ruhama, as Mr. Lee mentioned earlier. It also includes the tech school. While you represent those, you actually work for the whole system, work for all the schools, and that's something I think we fail to understand sometimes. I am currently at the end of my first term. I'm seeking a second term. My skill set is problem solving and decision making, those kind of things, logical processes, and I think I bring that to the board. We've got some things that we have accomplished. We've got some projects that are going on now. We have some projects that we want to accomplish in the future, and I want to be a part of that, and I want to serve you. So I ask for your vote and your support at the June 5th election. Thank you.
And we allow that, but for now, we'll hold the applause until after all the questions are finished. Thank you. All right, we will go in the same order as we went with the opening statements for the first question. So Carol, you will go first, and then Jeff, if you'll follow. If you need the question repeated, any of the candidates, if you need that, ask me. Otherwise, we'll just let you go ahead and begin. Carol, as many people know, there's a local property tax that allocates funds for DeKalb County schools. And that tax is set to expire unless it's renewed by a vote of the people on the June the 5th ballot. What are your thoughts on this renewal? Are you for it? Are you against it? And why do you believe either the renewal or the expiration is the best course and outcome for our schools?
As we know, property tax, the part that the school receives, is very important. And absolutely, I am for it. And I hope all of you are, and I hope you all understand that it is a renewal tax. It will be any additional tax that you will pay. You already pay the tax, it's just a renewal tax. That tax supports a lot of our, maybe even we have some aids that maybe are paid out of local money. There's lots of things in the school system that is paid out of local money. And that is where the money comes from, is from that tax. And again, it is not a new tax, it is just a renewal tax, but it has to be voted on by the people of DeKalb County. And I hope you all will join me in supporting that tax.
All right, Jeff, same question.
We have been working closely with Fort Payne Board of Education. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we had a joint session with them to figure out the process and the steps we need to go through to get this tax renewed. It's important. It's unusual that we have taxes that run for 20 years or 30 years, but all of a sudden, all of ours are coming due this one particular time. So it's absolutely imperative that we get those. As Carol said, it's not a new tax, it's simply a renewal of what we got. We're required by state law to have a minimum of a 10 mil tax. What we have now locally is 14.5. We're not going to discuss about whether that's adequate or not. I think we all recognize that we need a lot more money for education. But we're definitely in support of that, and the board is working very diligently, both boards together, to make sure that we get the word out and people understand the absolute necessity of us getting this renewed. Thank you.
All right. And Jeff, if you'll just remain up there, because we'll reverse the order for the second question. And here it is for both the candidates. Each year, as the school board discusses the annual budget, there are always rumblings about the possibility of school consolidations and how fewer campuses would allow the taxpayer dollar to be used more efficiently. How do you feel about school consolidations? Do you think it is an idea that the county school board should consider more seriously?
Did you write that one, or somebody said that one? That's a political hot potato. Without a doubt, at some point in the future, consolidation will have to happen. It's going to have to happen. Economics, I just talked about the 14.5 mil tax. Economics are going to necessitate that it happens sometime. It's just a matter of when. It might not be in my lifetime, might not be in anybody's sitting in here, but it's going to happen. And it's something that we probably need to begin the discussions on now so that people understand. There's a lot of issues related to it, but we can learn from other systems who have done it and done it successfully. So it's something we need to have a discussion about. although I don't see it on the immediate horizon, it is something I think somewhere down the road it's going to happen.
All right, Carol, second question.
It's just like Mr. Williams said, you know, we may have to look at that sometime. And I've been in the school system for 33 years. And we have heard school consolidation for at least 33 years I know of. At one point in time, of several years ago, when I would go to meetings, after like I said, I've been in the building maintenance department for 20 years. After I went to that department, we began to hear from the State Department, if you don't start consolidating, we are going to cut your funds. We heard that, and we heard that till we thought, well, we'll start. But you know, lots of other things, it just died down. It would be a big undertaking. Our funds didn't get cut because we didn't consolidate. We may sometime in the future, it may come up again, but over the 33 years that I've been in the system, I've heard it for several times that it's going to happen. But I don't see it in the future.
All right. And Carol, this next question will be for you as well as we reverse the order yet again. Alabama, education is important. Tax dollars outrun all other governmental spendings, so we know it's important. But when it comes down to the DeKalb County schools, in your opinion, what are 2 or 3 major priorities that we need to be working toward? And how would you work with the superintendent and the rest of the board to achieve these goals? 2 to 3 priorities.
Okay, of course, we're always needing new classrooms. We have, especially on the south end of the county, we have to have a lot of classrooms. You understand that the board only acts on recommendation from the superintendent. So I would work closely with the superintendent and the board upon the superintendent's recommendation and how to spend tax money properly. One of the things I think that we're in a big need of right now in DeKalb County is our Career Tech Center. It's busting at the seams. They have probably have more students than they have ever had in several years. And you know, that's where kids can go and learn a job, and that would be one of my top priorities, to enlarge, to make more room for that facility to house more programs at that location. Of course, we have schools that's in need of lots of things, and being the capital planner for this system and being a facility assessor, there's always needs that we need renovation, where it seems like we spend a lot of money on just keeping air conditioning up. But that's, we still have units out there that's 30 years old. But we are doing a new construction, making a lunchroom bigger at Collinsville because of their enrollment. But I would make sure our tax dollars are spent wisely.
Yeah.
The reference to career tech is absolute. That particular part of our system is growing probably faster than any other section or any other school. And we know we've got that need to address. We have lots of priorities, and it's hard for us as a board, particularly since we come from different communities and represent different communities, to specifically decide what 2 or 3 priorities we have. That's why right now we're in the midst of our strategic plan. And part of that process is we're inviting the public, our stakeholders, our parents, our teachers, our grandparents, anybody that has a connection or a vested interest in our system to take part in this survey. And we probably have 15 or 20 things on there that they can prioritize. And we're going to go through this process, and when we come out of the strategic plan, we'll know what the top priorities are of everybody that's in the county. And that'll give us something to focus on, something to work towards. So it's hard for us, just as a board, to decide what those things are, and that's why we're asking for input from the public, and that's why we're conducting the survey and doing the strategic plan. So we have lots of priorities. As we all know, money's always the issue. There's never enough of it. And so that's why we're asking for input, so we can focus on those top priorities and get to work on those.
All right, and Jeff, the next question is yours as well. The Alabama legislature in recent years approved a mechanism that would allow charter schools, or does allow charter schools, to operate in Alabama under certain conditions. Do you support a statewide education system that is comprised of public schools, private schools, and now charter schools? And why or why not?
Interesting. Charter schools came up, it was interesting to me when I ran 6 years ago, that one of the questions that we got in a forum like this had to do with charter schools. You know, like them or not, they're with us. They've been made available. And as I said 6 years ago, and I'll say it again, charter schools may be in places around the state. I don't see one in the near future in DeKalb County. That's not to say that somebody won't get involved in one and try to start one and try to be a part of one. It may happen, I don't know. But, you know, I'm very, I like people to have choices. You know, this may surprise somebody. I hope it doesn't. But public school is not for everybody. That's why we have private schools. Private schools are not for everybody. That's why we do homeschool. And homeschool is not for everybody. That's why we have public schools. So people have choices. But as far as us supporting a charter school, I don't see that happening.
All right, Carol.
I'm not a supporter of charter schools because whether you know it or not, charter schools, is my understanding, they do not have to have degree people. I'm not saying that there's not some folks that just has the talent to teach, that could be good teachers without having a degree. But just remember, charter schools do not have to have degree teachers. And that is, you know, a big must for me. I think it's very important that our teachers are highly educated to teach our children. It's just like, I think in the bigger cities, we're going to see charter schools already are seeing some charter schools, I believe, in some of the bigger cities. In our area, I don't foresee in the near future a charter school coming to this area. Maybe, you know, several years down the road it may happen, but I'm not a supporter of charter schools. Just like Mr. Williams said, you know, public school may not be for everybody, but I'm not 100% sure that, I don't think that charter schools is definitely the fix on that. Thank you.
And Carol, once again, you'll have the final question, and then following this question, let's see, Jeff, you'll go first, and then Carol will finish up. And this is a lengthy question, but pretty simple answer, I would think, and it's more on your feelings about things more than something you could actually vote on, more than likely. In recent months, there's been a lot of talk about school safety, constitutional rights, the Second Amendment, a bill introduced into the Alabama legislature by Will Ainsworth, and had 33 co-sponsors. It would train teachers to carry a firearm or have access to a firearm on school campuses in an effort to provide a last line of defense to our children and school personnel. The bill died, and so we do not have that as law. But here's the question: would you support a similar bill personally, and explain your reasoning?
School safety is a big issue, and I understand. I have grandchildren in the school system, and we as board members, the superintendent, board members, and the school personnel, we owe it to our children to make our schools be as safe as possible for them. You know, I'm open to all options when it comes to school safety. I know there's lots of things out there that's going around. I've been out knocking on doors, and that's the number one question I'm asked. is about school safety. I think we would have to do a lot of training, mental evaluations, I would support if we had the right, could get the right evaluations to go along with it. You know, there's male and female teachers that are very comfortable with the gun, and those may, and then there's some that's not. I think if it was something, I think it would have to be voluntarily, and everything from a mental evaluation to the proper training to everything, you know, that would go along with that. I think we would have to look at all the whole situation to make a firm stand with the guns.
What I'm going to say might surprise you, but truth be known, we probably have some teachers that carry the name, whether we have the law or not. That's Jeff's opinion, and I don't have anything to prove that, but I would suspect. As the law was revised, and the way it had the supporters, if somebody wants to meet those requirements and the stipulations and go through that process, I have no problem with them doing it. The flip side of that is if somebody is not comfortable doing it and doesn't want to do it, I don't feel like they should have any pressure or any suggestion that they do otherwise. I think we need to give them the option. I have no problem, no issue with that. Again, if they meet the requirements and the stipulations that have been set up for that to happen, I think that's just one more option we have, and I would support that.
All right. And Jeff, you have a 1-minute closing statement time.
Thank you. I appreciate Southern Torch and the DeKalb County Republican Committee for doing this and allowing us to have the opportunity to speak to you and answer some questions so you get to know us better. We've got several projects that are ongoing. We've got our technology initiative that we're kind of revamping our whole technology in the system. Huge project's going to pay great dividends when it's complete later this year. We have things that we do. We have things that we're working on. We have things that challenge us, and we got things that I'm in the midst of now. And I want to see those completion. And I'm asking you for your support to allow me to do that, to finish the job that we started here, get that all done. School safety. I know it's everybody's hot button right now, but we started this process really seriously last summer. We hired a Homeland Security guy to come in, spend a couple of days with us. We went to some schools, and we did some training, and we got several things that are going on in that regard. And we're not just reacting to something that just happened recently that gets everybody on board for that. That's been a priority of ours for some time we've been working on. Thank you.
All right. And Carol, closing statement.
I'd just like to say that I appreciate Southern Torch and Mr. Lee for emceeing tonight, and Southern Torch for hosting us. And you know, for 33 years, your tax money has been invested in me. And I would like to give back to the communities of DeKalb County and the children and the teachers of our employees of our school system, to serve them on the other side as your board member. I feel like with my years of experience in the school system that I have a lot to bring to the table, and that I would appreciate your vote on June 5th for Carol Hiett as DeKalb County Board Member, District 3.
Thank you both, and a round of applause for Jeff Williams and Carol Hiett.